Well, good morning and welcome to our reflection for Sunday, the 21st of June, Midsummer's Day, but also the first day in which we can be back in the church for private prayer. I'm not sure how long this arrangement will continue. It may only be for a very short period, as it was on the way into lockdown between full public worship and complete closure. It may only be a fortnight or so before we can get back to public worship, but nonetheless we have to prepare for it, and we are preparing for it, and by the time you see this, arrangements will have been put in place to keep you safe and make sure everything is hygienic for you if you choose to come to our churches. Full details will be on the notice sheet that will accompany this by email. We realise that some people will decide that it's not safe for them to come to the church at this time. Some people will want to come. When we get there, or if we stay at home, how are we going to use this time of private prayer? We're perhaps not used to spending time quietly on our own in the church. There will be no led prayers, nothing from the front. I will put some notices up to help people to focus their prayers, but you will be on your own, as of course you will be if you choose to stay at home. So the purpose of this reflection this morning is to help you to use that time. Let's say you decide to spend half an hour. Now it might be at home, it might be in the church, but you come into your room, you sit down, and then what? What are you going to do? How are you going to spend that time of private prayer? So here are some ideas. The first thing is to sit still and sit quiet. Make sure the phone is off, the radio is off, the telly is off. Make sure that you are quiet and still. And then purposely set out to listen out for the word of God. Now it may be there is absolute silence. It may be that you get some dramatic revelation, but that doesn't happen very often. But it may be, and I think I've said this many times before, that somehow into your mind comes a person. Let's say Auntie Flo comes into your mind. Well, why might Auntie Flo come into your mind at that point? Surely it's likely that you have opened yourself up to God, and God is saying to you, why don't you give Auntie Flo a ring today? Or write her a letter. Do something. I've put her into your mind for a purpose. Now, of course, when we are silent, all sorts of other distracting thoughts come into our minds, like when's the football season going to start, or what's for tea, or why is my big toe itching? Try and put those thoughts to one side. Let them pass by as if you were watching the traffic on the road outside. Just let them go past, say, that's interesting, cheerio, I don't need to think about you now. But if it's something about a person or something that you think God is putting on your mind to do something about, then don't let that pass by. Because it'd be very rude, wouldn't it, to say, Lord, I'm listening out for you, and then he tells us something and we say, oh, I don't want to know about that, thank you. So meditation as a Christian is a bit different to Buddhist meditation. It is not, in my experience, clearing your mind of everything, but it is opening your mind to the voice of God, and that means clearing out some of the other stuff that we usually find fills our minds. So perhaps that might take 5, 10, I would advise 15 minutes. Try and be still and quiet for 15 minutes and see what God says. After that, you can turn to some sort of liturgy, some sort of aid to prayer. Having listened for God, now you speak to God. One way to do it is to use this spiritual communion, well, you can't see that very well, But I did send this round, and I will send it again by email this week. It's an opportunity to receive the Lord not in bread and wine, but in spiritual communion. Also, there is the discipline of what they call Acts prayer, that is adoration, confession, thanksgiving and supplication. And in the churches I will put up some aids to help you pray in that way. There's also, of course, the Lord's Prayer and the Grace, famous and deep meaning Christian words that will help you in your prayer time. So whether you choose to come to church or stay at home, I pray that all of us will use this new opportunity to draw closer to God, to be his people once again, together if we are able to come together, but also in our own homes if that's what we are doing, praying together. And I will of course let you know what times the churches will be open so that you can join in with us at those times if you are able to do so. So we are on the road back. It's not an easy road, but it is a part of the road, and we are looking forward to the final destination. But for the moment we enjoy and we appreciate what we have been given. One very simple practical thing, if you could remember to do it, if you are coming to the church, please, if you've got any, would you bring your own hand sanitizer, because obviously we will have some, but it's very expensive, and the less we have to give out, the better. But for the moment, I hope and pray that you find this partial release of lockdown, the ability to come into church if you want to, a blessing, and I look forward to seeing some of you, a lot of you I hope, at our two churches over the next few weeks. God bless you. Bye bye.